want is a complete movement where we would have our own Tobago by itself, our own governance, our own harbor, our own airport. You know, we will have our own, what you call it.
Yeah, we are managing ourselves, and they will manage themselves. I'm saying there are things.
But isn't the Tobago House of Assembly a body of people that was running Tobago affairs in defense? Or will London bring up something in defense of Tobago?
Yeah, well, that was all really. That was
speak a little.
A political
bantering
in defense of Tobago and so on. But in defense of Tobago is really. How many cricketers making it here? Every year. This is the conversation in Tobago after the budget. You think we get enough money? You think they give enough money? And this was London every year. I'm not uncomfortable. Next year, I'm quite comfortable with the allocation. Next year, but I'm not uncomfortable. Next year, I am comfortable. You say the same thing over and over. Now, why is it? How come a people, you could have a political system where a people had to ask the next one for budget to live? You think God sit down in heaven or stand up in heaven, as the case may be, sit in heaven watching down, could be happy with this really? You have a people with his spirit that he call his church and his own body in Tobago function like that. You think God is really happy with that really? How can God be happy with that really? Tobago is in an idolatrous state, you know. That's a fact. Tobago is in an Tobago is worshiping and serving Trinidad. I want you to understand this, you know. Here what happened. When God sent Moses to free the people of Egypt, he told Moses, he said, go and tell Pharaoh.
Tell him, they don't ask him.
People go so that they may serve me. I want you to hear.
Yes.
Let my people go so that they may serve me. What God is saying, any nation or people that is in bondage to another is not serving him. Worship is more than just singing song, you know. Worship is a lifestyle. Worship is a system, is a structure. Even when you go to church in Tobago, people don't really, you see people buckle up. They are afraid to worship God. They are afraid to dance and shout and clap and really misbehave and so on before God. It's because of the whole slavery. When you go to Trinidad, it's a different story. They worship different because they're free. In Tobago, it's tame. You know what I mean? So God said, let my people so that they may worship me.
So in Tobago, we are ruled by intimidation.
We are ruled by Trinidad. That is the fact of the matter. I don't want to live my entire life living on Trinidad. I have too much dignity for that. I wish everybody was like me. I have too much dignity for that. And there's no prospect of failing. This is about federalism now. This is about partnership. What you put into a relationship is what you get out of it. And I'm saying Tobago is in a strong position because the economy of Tobago will be stronger than that of Trinidad. I'm telling you, I'm not making up lies here.
So you are saying right now that all powers over Tobago
must be broken.
Is dead right now. The legislature is dead.
I'm saying, and we are thinking that it is just the House of Assembly. It's not just the Assembly, because the Act and the Assembly represented that part of the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago over Tobago. The Act represented the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago over Tobago. And I'm saying if the Act fails here, it is the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago that has fallen. And I'm saying, anyhow you take it, it has to go to constitutional reform, not constitutional amendment. And Tobagonians is good questions, but Tobagonians have no need to be fearful of anything.
So do you think that even the banks failing the people of Tobago? Because the loans that they will give to someone in Trinidad to build a house.
Yes, so the more we speak, all these things will come out. Tobago is just a branch of Trinidad. All these things, they pay the taxes in Trinidad. In spite of the House Assembly being here, these people, they have no respect for the House Assembly. It is a dangerous thing to be without power. Nobody respects you. Tobagonians can make a law in our own land. Who respects us? The people who come here, when they walk among us, they realize that we have no power. We are just squatters here. We're not sovereign. We ought to be sovereign, if you understand the meaning of the word, in our own land. in our own story, in our own beings. We must be sovereign. Check the meaning of the word, sovereign. Sovereign over all here. So that the banks, right now, the place is so enslaved that when you walk now, the monies are wired straight to the banks. If you go to get a loan, you're not getting that loan. If you want to go and learn to consume, fine. If you want a developmental loan, you're not getting that. And the banks are not answerable to Tobago. It's all these things I won't be able to explain or to hit on everything.
Not tonight. We have to come back.
But understand,
yes.
I've been going through this a long time. As I said, when I just began, I was looking at what's going on in America. This is what Dr. Duke suggested. And I was looking to see if it's possible. I was looking at the sport. Even though Britain or the United Kingdom is one kingdom, they're not one country too. They're one landmass, but they're not one country. People don't understand it. The Scottish people consider Scotland to be the country. The Welsh people consider Wales and the Irish to be the country. That is what is going on there. And they all play, even though it's one landmass, as the case may be. Scotland has its own national football team with its own flag. It's just because we're not exposed to the world, so we are looking at these things, we are following these things. Ireland have their own football team, their own national teams. All the countries in Britain have their own nationalities, have their own flag, have their own nationality. The only sport or event that the United Kingdom participates in together is the Olympics. They go there as the United Kingdom. But every other sport, Scotland has its own cricket team, football team, everything. Ireland, England, they all play separate. So I was looking at that to say, well, we could have our own separate team here, because I was a sportsman and I know how we have suffered. I believe that if Tobago was independent, that I would have captained the West Indies team. I believe so. Right? But look how many men have dreams here in Tobago that just waste. So I was trying to, I have to design a system now where everybody will be able to achieve their dream. And so that's what I come to. And it's not, what is wrong with Tobagonians governing themselves? The only thing that is missing there is having a government of Trinidad and Tobago. But what purpose would it solve really? What purpose? And I'm saying to Tobagonians have to be very wary, because there is no leadership in Trinidad. You won't understand how corrupt Trinidad is. They're killing people left, right, and center. A lady electrician came up from Trinidad a few weeks ago. You know what she told me? She's a sensei. Maybe I shouldn't call her name, but I'll call her name.
No,
maybe I shouldn't call her name.
We leave in your walk out of this. No conversation.
But let me just see. But every person told me. She said the young men in Trinidad, she said they have no spirituality, no morality. She said they're empty. They're just machines. And
they're robots.
Yes, the big businessmen and so on, who are behind the crime and so on, they hire them, and they just go and they're just shooting people for nothing.
So nothing. You are saying that these businessmen that hire them? Well, we're going to have another show.
These big people, and what they, but I knew this before, what they do, they drive around and they see you lonely and you're destitute and things, they pull you in and they show you love. They show you love.
That's from our gang.
Right? You show you love and so on.
In America, they call that gangs.
Right, so they take care of you, and when they're ready now, they call a shot, they say, we're going to fix up. But you tell me.
Mr. James, my brother, this is another show.
Has any of the government?
I know a lot of people, they want to tell me not to make you, or to leave you to talk, but that's another show.
Yeah. Has any of the governments ever attempted to deal with that? You look at Lavantil over the years.
We are going to talk.
Government try to.
Are we gonna have another show?
East-West corridor.
Today's show is all about Tobago and what we want to see for Tobago.
So right.
You see.
The point I was making there, Mama Coco, the point I was making there is that Tobagonians have to watch out what is going on, because
we have the crimes are here now too.
Right, so I'm saying
in Tobago.
But we can't do anything about it because we're not in charge. We can't make no policy. We cannot maintain the Tobago culture here because we are not in charge. If we were in charge, we could have put in measures to maintain the Tobago culture.
So are we going to have our own police training and our own police?
Of course. Of course.
Or well, this is bigger than you really start to talk about. So can we have your closing statement?
Well, the things that I've said here, I'm a student of world politics. Yeah? I'm a student of world politics. I'm a student of politics in Tobago here. I'm a student of God. I'm a student of the kingdom of God. I'm well read. You know what I'm saying? And the things that I say them not.
Look what Avenel James is saying. Avenel Hazel is saying.
Right? So that my offerings, my submissions here were well intended. I believe in self-government for every ethnicity and for all peoples. I believe that people must be free and govern themselves. Everybody.
Oh, you're saying it in a way like if
no, because I know people.
What you mean that they should govern themselves?
Right, because
we are living in a country, are we not supposed to obey laws and being governed by those in authority?
No, I'm not talking individuals, you know. When I say people, I'm talking about a people collective that share the same identity, history, and experience, and so on, and the same land space. Right? You know, there are countries in the world today who have I'll give you a website, forumfed.org. Because when we started in the liberation movement, we went to that site, forumfed.org. In fact, most countries in the world are federal nations. United States, India, South Africa, Nigeria, Australia, New Zealand, they are all federal. Most of the countries in the world are federal. So we researched that website, forumfed.org, and there's an organization that they go around the world and show people how to set up their federation. Europe is a federation, but it's more confederation. The OECS is a partnership. They form a partnership for the common good, but nobody is ruling over the other.
How we call Russia?
Russia is a federation too. And the Soviet Union was also a federation. The majority of countries in the world are federation. It's all in Tobago, like a person, when I was on another program, a person typed in and asked me, he says, is there any other system in the world where you have a country and one part is a ward of the other? He says, is that known any part of the world? This is what's going on here.
This is your closing statement?
Yes,
you start a new show. Let's do closing statement.
Well, basically, I've exhausted really what I have said. I want to thank people for joining. I'm a plain speaker. You know what I mean?
I know.
Speaker.
That is why when you are invited for a show with a topic, we have to stick to our topic.
Yes,
we have to stick to our topic.
But I want you to figure that I was going across.
No. We gonna say. You see what happened to me with my shows?
Yeah.
People are so threatened.
Yeah.
And what they do is to hire their trolls.
Yeah.
To cut and paste, to snip and shut.
Oh, yeah, well, that's true. Yes.
And I have to be careful.
I agree that part. I agree that.
When I'm having my show on race, tell them to tune in.
Yeah. Okay.
Because at that time you will be able to expound.
But I don't know what aspect of race that you want to discuss because
you are going to know. You know what I'm talking about. You know me. I'm just like you. I was given the authority to do something in the name of God, Jehovah my God, and I don't hold back. That's why if I ain't going someplace, I don't want to be taken there. And I love what you're doing. I pray Almighty God keep us close as family and friends. I need you on my show. I need what you have to say. What you want out of Trinidad and Tobago is a very deep call. And it's deep because we have been playing around semantically, listen, with words. Tonight you speak clearly that you're not talking about secession. But when I interpret what you have to say, that is secession to the People's National Movement and to the people that they instill that fear in for all these years. So that many of our Tobago people hated Robinson, the PNM partner, of which I used to be a member. I used to be a PNM.
Okay.
And I know what time of the day this is. And I know you know what time of the day this is. And when I keep in a show and you sign your waiver is to protect you and to protect me. Not because I'm afraid of anybody. You see, these people are so dumb that they bring up all kind of charges against people just to waste people time to distract. I ain't here for distraction. That is why we stick with our program. When you sign your waiver for this show, you sign because you are here to speak on Tobago. Any other topic, we have to leave it for the night when we have that topic. We are not fair-minded people. We don't believe in transparency. And as much as some people will say they love you, you hear what a woman wrote me and tell me? I will send it for you. I like Mr. James now. He used to make a lot of noise, but now he show up himself as a teacher. I'm gonna post it, you know. And I love hearing him now as a teacher. Exact words, it may not be exact. Verbatim, sometimes I don't repeat exactly.
The essence of it.
But the essence of it. So tonight, I want to thank you. And may you give your closing statements. Now we are 2.5 hours.
Well, let's see.
Watson will be here Wednesday. Any message for Watson?
Well, Watson is his own man, you know.
You are your own man?
Yes, I am my own man.
Well, be mannish and say something.
Well, I wish him the best in all his pursuits. He's somebody that I love, somebody that I've shared a good relationship with, because I said he was with me, and so on. And in spite of the things that have been said, within that organization itself, Watson, ideologically, I know, is more progressive than the rest of them. I know that personally. If I'm saying, he's more progressive ideologically. Right? But
and do you know Mr. Farley?
Yes, I know Mr. Farley.
Any interaction with him?
Not very much, but we have had a little. We know each other. He's young, now coming up. I think he needs a lot more experience. You have to be properly seen.
Be careful of what you're saying, because
well, I know he might be watching, but
no, not because of him. It's because of what the other party will do and take your words into different contexts. Oh, okay. I hate it, but I don't care.
Well, what did I say? Maybe I
so let's leave it. You know him, and he's
a
fine young man.
Well, of course, you know.
He's smart. He's very intellectual.
Well, he's intelligent and so on. Like in everything, as I see, life is a journey. You know, when I know we started out, I wasn't where I am at this point in time. You know, so life is about growth and so on. You have to grow and see. Sometimes you want something now, and God is saying, wait. You know, I mean, when God trained his in the Bible and so on, carried them through a whole process and so on. But all that time is training them.
You know, I never asked you.
You know what I mean?
We have a reporter that want to be a star in Tobago. Her name is Sister Liz. Well, you know Liz? You like how the way she's carrying about her business of work?
You're trying to set me up.
No. You just say yes or no.
I think you're trying to be like.
Yeah, the show.
Mama Coco, you're trying to
messaging you, but you're not getting the message.
You're trying to
What Dr. Duke said? What Dr. Duke
said? I've tried messaging you, but I presume your device is turned off.
No, it's not off. So we are at the end of our show, and we want to thank Brother James. He refused to answer my last question. Could it be yes or no?
I guess I have to be diplomatic and so on.
Yes. So you may answer me offset, but I'm not going to speak. I'm not going to speak for you. You have your chance to speak now. And I really don't like some people's behavior. I kind of talked to her in many forms, but she didn't understand, or maybe she doesn't want to understand. And I pray that as we grow in life, we grow with principles that will take us to the future, and we be careful because of our offsprings and of our generation. And I pray that God will keep us in perfect peace. And I want to thank you so much for coming tonight. I want to thank the audience. Some people really didn't understand where I was going, but I want everybody to know that I am the host of this show, or hostess of this show, and I can feel where things are happening. I ask our God Jehovah to chaperone us through his paths of righteousness, that we don't have to say we are sorry for anything that we say. We are going to be unabashedly straightforward. We don't have to tell people, oh, I miss. No, we ain't miss. Because we are going to speak when we are spoken to, and we're going to answer to our calls. So, I want to thank the producer and the editor of the show. Thank you for coming in this evening. Thank you for being who you are. And I thank God that you can be able to keep the show in line. This guy is not an easy guy. This guy is strong with his beliefs and his views. And I want to tell you, continue to be you. And you already tell me that you accept the invitation to come back.
Yeah, we'll come once you have me.
Yes, I'll have you.
Yeah.
I need you. I need your points of view.
What about the education and very sync in the team?
Yes.
Very sync in the team, really. Sometimes you see, God already has it figured out, but we might be worrying, but God already has it figured out. So we need to just be resting on his promise. Resting on his promise. You know what I mean? Just to say.
It is so hard when our own people don't even understand the word citizenship. As a citizen, your rights.
Yeah, you see, look at that. Tobagonians don't even determine that. You must only have one or two Tobagonians who work in immigration and all everything. Ministry of Energy, the Tobagonians have been shut out of all these things here. Trinidad Power. There are so many things, but it's only when we deal with different things will come up. You know, as the conversation goes on and so on. Right? There's really no
it is sad. It is sad.
And you know, in our personal lives, you know, we prescribe that for Tobago. In our personal lives, we're not allowing the next man to rule over we. And even our home situation, we land and we're very concerned about our own private land. But the next man encroaching, and we're going court and we're fighting for land and so on.
What about all the lands that churches taking away from people? People selling their land to churches selling their lands to foreigners who come here behaving as if they know so much about church. Take us out tonight. Thanks to the audience. Thanks to each and everyone for your input. It can either make us stronger or it can make us weaker. And we are not people who accept weak offerings or weak tidings. Peace, everybody. Thanks for your love. Oh, 1 minute, 1 minute. Tomorrow, join us at 11:30 or 11:30 my time, but 2:30 Trinidad time, New York time, Eastern time, for Live with Mama Coco Sundays. We have two, I wish I could see their names. We have two lovely guests. Sister Juanita, and a surname, can you put it up? Let me read. Join us for our next episode of Live with Mama Coco Sundays on Sunday, March 28th at 2:30 p.m. Trinidad time, which is tomorrow. Join us tomorrow, Sunday the 28th. So take us out. Thank you, Dr. Duke. Thank you for everything. And you can shop at the stores. We have lots of nice things on sale. Please be a part of this show in thought, words, and deeds.
Is there a mountain in your way? A river deep and wide. Stepping on the waters will go down. We'll reach the other side. Not by might, not by power, but my spirit says the Lord of hosts. Not by might, not by power, by my spirit says the Lord. This mountain shall be removed.
Yes, yes.
Shall be removed. This mountain shall be removed. By my spirit says the Lord. Is there a mountain away? A river deep and wide. Step in, the waters will roll back. We'll reach the other side. Not by night, not by morning, and my spirit says the Lord of hosts. Not by morning.
Yes. Yes, my people. Thank you so much.
Shall be removed. This mountain shall be removed. Mountain shall be removed by my spirit.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. James. Thank you so much. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Give my love to your family and peace.
Respect.
Respect.